Welcome, welcome. Holiday dressing is what we're going to talk about tonight. And I've got some just really fun stuff. Hopefully everybody can relate, but I did get an email I thought was kind of funny. Somebody said to me, why are we doing holiday dressing when we can't go anywhere? And I thought, oh, that's sad. Of course we can go places. There's all kinds of places we could go. So what you're going to do is you're going to search for your town, wherever it is, and just search for things to do in the holidays. Because I know at ours, like I did it, I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I did it, and there was so many things. And there's things where, like the typical things, I'm going to say, like a lot of times in the holidays, our family, we go to a symphony, a Christmas symphony. That's not available this Christmas. And so there's like some things going on at the mall that are going to be really fun. And I thought, okay, we'll just do things that we haven't done for a long time. There's a whole Santa Village. Again, I'm talking Dallas. There's a whole Santa Village and it's all outside. And it'd be really fun to dress up and go to that. So I think there's a lot of things. I mean, I saw high schools are still having their plays because it's high school and they're just doing social distancing and people are wearing masks. So there's lots of things to do, you guys. I just think that it will give us a chance to be creative and different than maybe the things we typically do. We always go see, there's a play that we usually go see every Christmas. We can't go see that play because the playhouse is closed. But you know what? We'll come up with some other stuff. So and if you did go nothing else, you should dress up, go to dinner. I don't care if it's by yourself. Or meet your neighbor and say, hey, I want a dinner partner tonight. Just get outside, push, and we're going to show you some great things you can wear. Is that a deal? Okay. All right. So we're going to start with, we've got all kinds of pictures. And so we want to show you those and we want to talk about them. And we want to show you how easy it is to really sew and be creative and really come up with some great holiday dressing ideas. Okay. So our first here, we're going to look at fur. And this was the picture I saw and I just loved this jacket. I just thought it was so pretty. For me in white, I didn't necessarily want it in white. I felt like that was a little over the top just for me. And so I decided I wanted in the color I have on, which is like a burgundy, which I absolutely love. I love these sleeves. Notice a few details about this. Notice there's just one clasp at the neckline, which I put a little lower than the neckline. Notice how hers flares out a little bit. It's simply because it's only stable in one place. And so I lowered that in my neckline just a little bit. I just did a little fireman clasp. It's fabric 3757. And I love it. I love the one silver. And that way the rest of it can hang straight. And then you can see that the sleeve itself is the same length as the jacket. And then you just open up the seam in the front. And I'll show you a few differences that I did. But first I want you to really take a look at fur, because fur is, there are vendors who have sworn off fur, but yet there's so many vendors that have it. And it just, I don't know if it's more expensive. I don't know that I've really looked at fur to see how expensive it was. But over the last few weeks, I've noticed fur. I was in New York and I checked out furs and they're just so expensive. Like, who pays that much? But obviously a lot of people do. So I wanted to show you the next couple of pictures to look. Before we go away from this picture, I want you to notice how high up that sleeve is. Now I use pattern 720, and 720 is just a blouse pattern. I'll show you this in a minute. But I actually, on the front of mine, I sewed the front seam down like 4 inches. So it's still open like what hers is, but it's not open up in my upper arm. And the reason that is I get really cold and I wanted it to be a little bit more of a sleeve that my arm came out of, rather than, you can see how high up that's open. That's a 2-piece sleeve is all it is. That's just sewn in. But I sewed that front of that 2-piece sleeve down a little bit so that it just kind of held it in. And like I said, we'll see it a little bit closer here in just a minute. All right, so if we look at these next couple pictures, I want you to see the prices. I can't see them, but it doesn't matter. I already know they're expensive, so you can see them. And let's go to the next one. And you can see this is just a little fur vest. So they're just really, really pricey. And I do think that fur is very elegant. It's just beautiful. I don't know that I even do a comparison to faux fur. I think it's just different. So it just depends on whatever your feelings are toward it, and respect others that are different, and just do what you feel comfortable with. I think for a lot of furs, you can't even tell the difference between fur and real, so it's whatever you are comfortable with. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, look at the price on this. I think it was $9,000. This is a variegated fur. Just beautiful. Now, so this is a look that would be harder to duplicate simply because it's the way it's dyed. But I just thought it was beautiful. Fendi is one of your largest fur houses, most expensive fur houses. Their furs get to be $75,000 even when they're pieced and cut in all together like that. They're just stunning. You can do the exact same thing with a faux. It's just a matter of finding those furs. All right, and then we go to the next one. And then so I wanted you to see again. So I used pattern 720. And then all I used was the front, the back. You can see piece number 1, piece number 2, and then 6 and 7, the upper sleeve and undersleeve. So basically, if you have the classic blouse, you could use that. If you have anything, basically, you just have a piece in the front and a piece in the back. There's a dart in here. So you want a dart. You don't want to leave out the darts because in fur, the dart is what will give that fur direction, and the seams are very easy to do, and they're beautiful. So don't shy away from seams. In this particular case, I didn't need any additional seams anywhere. I just needed the front, the back, and the sleeve. So that's all I used. It took me 5 furs. This is the size of this particular fur. I got the back on 1. So it just depends on the size that you're doing. So I got the back on 1 skin. I had the front, and then the sleeves were each 1. So that took 1 for the back, 1 for each front, 1 for the sleeve, and 1 for the sleeve. It took me 5. And then I just wanted you to see a little bit of the scrap, because when you go to, well, I wanted you to see the edge. You can see that in every case, the fur goes over the edge of the skin. It's suede on the back side. It's really beautiful. But you can see that the fur goes over the edge. So you don't have to finish the edges at all. None of my edges are finished. What I wanted to show you, though, is when you're cutting it, and I have shown you this before, but I just wanted to mention it. You're just going to be careful. Don't cut through from the fur side. You'll want to just put your scissors just barely under and just go little bits at a time. Don't use rotary cutters, don't really think, because when I do that, you can see that the fur still hangs over the edge. And it doesn't even look like it's been cut. So don't just cut right through it. And then when you're sewing, same thing. When you go to put it back together, just push the fur away from the seam. Push this away. Just get the suedes together, or the back together. And it's so easy. So none of your fur should be sticking up. You want it all pushed down and then sew like that. And then when you turn it to the other side, you can't even see where those seams are. And I know it's dark. Can we come closer in there to where they can see that? I can show you my dart, and you can see where you don't even see where that dart is. My dart literally is right here. You just don't see it. So you can do seams all over the place. You guys, don't be afraid of seams and fur because it's just beautiful. Is that a sheepskin? No, this is a lamb. This is a lamb. This is fabric number, let me just give you this so you can just look at it. It's 3654. Just so you can see, pretty sure it's a lamb, I could be wrong, but I think it's a lamb. Sheep is usually, well, I could be wrong. Maybe you guys will look it up. You all will tell me. How's that? We'll make that a deal. All right, so seams are very easy. Again, you've only got 3 pieces. I don't think this took me an hour to make. I mean, it was that easy. And when you look at the prices of what fur cost, it's just a fun thing to do at the holidays. For seam allowance, I used the same 3/8. I didn't change that at all. And then you don't really even want to line it because the inside is the suede. I mean, I guess you could wear it inside out. I didn't even try that. But I'm not an inside-out kind of girl. I just wear it one way, and I pick the way I like the best. But it doesn't mean you can't. Okay, so fur is where we're going to start. So with my fur, what I did is I made a couple bottoms because I wanted it to be dressy, but I wanted to feel like I could just throw it on with jeans and go to the mall. I wanted to feel like I could go both ways. So our next photo is we saw this skirt. I think there's one before this. Is there one picture? Yeah, there we go. So this is Alice and Olivier. I saw this skirt. I was actually at the store, and they had this skirt in the window. And I really liked it. I really liked it. The more I looked at it, though, it just started to drive me crazy. And if you're sewers, you are sewers, you'll know why. The plaids are just so poorly matched, and I just got to where it was driving me crazy. It's $350 for the skirt. And I guess you could say there was some purposeful reason for it. I just couldn't get away from how crooked it was. I don't know, it just drove me crazy after a little while, but I liked it. I still liked it, so I took that idea and I made this right here. And so what I did is I picked up a plaid that we have, and I wanted a little bit of red in there because I wanted to tie it in with what I had with the fur. So this is the yoga skirt. It's pattern 2010. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. I'm supposed to show you the patterns. I was really good at remembering. This is 720. This is what I used for the fur. 720 is Sherard's Blouse. That's the new one. That's after Monica. And then 2010 is the yoga skirt. And that's what I made this out of. So obviously the yoga skirt is knit. We're going to do it out of a woven. So we're just going to go to the waist size that we measure and choose that size. That's the biggest advantage of having finished garment measurements, because it's so easy to just change sizes. So this plaid is what we're going to do. So if you look closely, and I don't know how closely we can look here on the camera, but this is what we call an even plaid. So that means the plaids going up and the plaids going across are the same. To give you the fabric number, you can look at it while we're talking. It's 3851. So 2010 is the pattern, 3851 is the plaid. So if you notice at the bottom, they are a 45-degree angle to center front. So I'm picking right up the corner of the plaid all the way across. So it's a complete 45-degree angle. The entire skirt is a 45-degree angle. And this way, to me, it just, number one, it hangs beautiful. It looks beautiful. I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. With this jacket, the shorter jacket, and that together, it just looks so pretty on. The problem is if I wore it, you can't see the bottom of it. So I decided I'd put it on this mannequin. So what I did is I added 10 inches to this side. Well, let's go to the photograph of what I did. There we go. Thank you, Benjamin. So I added 10 inches to, and it's the left side. It doesn't really matter, except what I did is I went up in size. I used an invisible zipper. I still used the waistband at the waist. So it's still, I sewed it just like the yoga skirt, but I left open the left side. And then I put in the invisible zipper and closed up the left side. And also what you'll see on the side is you'll see the chevrons coming together because I cut the front and the back out to where they were on the same angle. And so they matched perfectly at the sides. Okay? So then what I did, so very easy to do, I just laid out, it'll take 2 yards. It'll take a yard for the front and a yard for the back, which is more than what it would take if you just laid it out straight. But that angle, and I'm sure that's why they didn't do an angle, because it just eats up too much fabric. Or because they don't know how to do it. I'm not sure which. But what you want to do, and I laid it out there, is you want the center front to be at a 45-degree angle to the hem. And the hem, all you have to do that is once you draw this pattern, just put the hem going right across the corner of the squares, which is what I did. I used my fabric to give me the 45-degree angle. And then I cut the front. And then what I did is I used that front piece to cut the back, and I made the front and the back the same. There's just not that much difference in the original pattern, so it really doesn't make that much difference. They're usually a little bit longer in the back, but because it's asymmetrical and it's longer at one side, the front and the back really didn't make that much difference. All right, so that's how I cut it. I didn't change this side at all. When I looked at the photograph or when I looked at the garment at the store, it was like regular length on one side, but the longer side was about 10 inches. So that's when I added the 10 inches. And if you're shorter, you know, just to add 6 inches, you know, adjust it to your height so that it looks in proportion to you. But I just really like that. I just thought it was such a cute little skirt, easy for the holidays. You could wear it with a great pair of little boots. Even tennis shoes, anything would be just really cute. Tights, and it's warm. This is a wool blend, and it's really, really beautiful. It's got a great drape and a great hand. All right, so then we sewed it, hemmed it, and we're good to go. It's very easy to do. All right, any questions? Are we okay? All right, let's keep on cruising, man. All right, so then what I started to notice, this is, I don't know if you've heard of a line of clothing. It's out of LA. It's called Frame, F-R-A-M-E. I have not figured out why they think they can make it as a company, and I don't mean that harsh. I don't find anything really unique and different in there. I've asked them, the salespeople, I've gone into the store, I don't know, maybe a half dozen times, and I've, you know, there's always different salespeople. So I say, you know, what's unique and different, and they say the fit. They're really known for their jeans. They kind of started with their jeans. They do have a lot of cute tops in there, but there's so many designers with so much reputation, with so many great things. It's just a really competitive world. And so it was interesting to me to see a new store and a new name try to come out. I don't mean new, they're a few years old, but relatively new. So Frame, F-R-A-M-E is the name. But what I noticed about this store, and I've noticed it in other stores, color blocking is kind of popular. Can I call it popular? So I did a little color blocking. I'm going to show it to you. But I decided to do it with fabrics of the same color rather than different colors. So I'm going to show you this. Now, in this case, you can see that there's the gold, the black, and the white. And how it's used, I think, is good. It's flattering. It's not unflattering at all. Sometimes you see color blocking. It's just horrible. I don't think there's anything to live and die for. The sweater was really soft, though, I will say that. But it was like $485. It was not inexpensive. And you can see it just, you know, it is what it is. All right, so the next picture I wanted you to see, because a little color blocking going on here too, this time with a vest. Thought it was cute, easy thing to do. You could easily do this with, again, any of your blouse patterns. Your 720 could do something like this. So let's go to the next one. And I did a little color blocking with fabric. Oops, I got one ahead. I think that's okay. I don't think I have a photo for this. Let's wait on that one. So I did a little color blocking. This is 117. And so 117, this is our POM for last month. 117 is the cut up tee. Absolutely love this pattern. Just love it. So what I did here is most of the front is done in the same fabric. And I used, it's a quilted black, and just a beautiful fabric. And it's fabric number 3849. I'm sorry, it's 3705 is the quilted black. I can't raise the mannequin, so we're going to get you to come down just a little bit. And on this side, what I did is I subbed it out with 3849. So 3849 is a real sheer knit, and it's got just a little bit of glitter in it. I don't even know if you can see the glitter from where we're at. And the back is the most fun part of this. And so what I did is I used the quilted fabric and then the quilted, but on top of the quilted I put the netting, and just for modesty. And then down here I used just the netting, and of course you can see the cut work and you can see the different pieces. And then the sleeve I used the netting. I just love it. You know, it's probably one of those things you either love or hate, but I just really like it. On, it's adorable. I would wear it with a pair of jeans, especially so that back here you could really see that, you know, not black on black. I would wear it, or with a lighter color pair of pants, so you can really see what's going on underneath. I'm going to put that over there. All right, so just a little bit of color blocking. It's great for the holidays, especially if you've got, and the nice thing about it is, like, it took a yard of each of these fabrics. If you've got some pieces and you're not sure what you want to do, or you've used them and you want to do them again, this pattern is great for that reason, the 117. It's really nice. Okay. You cut it on the bias. You're probably referring to the skirt. The skirt is cut on the bias. Yes. So the first thing you want to do when you cut that on the bias, you guys, we did just the last PBS. We had a designer, Robert Daines, from the 900 series. Robert Daines is a designer out of New York. He sells to Bergdorf Goodman and many others. he does bias. I mean, it's just beautiful what he does with bias. And so there's a few tips that he gave me about bias, and they're all in the show. But what I'm going to tell you is that as soon as you cut bias, if you are just sewing it to another piece, you want to secure the edges. So this was easy because it was only 2 pieces. And so I serged all the way around the skirt before I sewed it together. So that just secured everything from changing or draping. And then a lot of times he'll say that if you're going to design your design it for the bias. And so that's another reason that was in my head where I thought, okay, I'm going to put the fabric on the bias, but it's actually asymmetrical also. So if it changed a little bit, if it did, it would lend itself to the design. And so I thought that was a really good tip to use the bias, use the design in your final garment. Use the concept of the bias in your final garment. I liked that. Are both black fabrics knit? They are. The 3705 is a knit and the 3849. They're both knits. And they would have to be with this particular top. This particular top is a knit. Okay? Okay, then we can go on. Okay, sorry. So then I saw this. And this is Brunello Cucinelli, and you guys know I have a love affair with him. With his clothes, actually. Crazy price. Like, there was I will tell you one thing about shopping is there are things I see in the store, like example of this store. I was in here last week and there was a $28,000 jacket. I looked all over the internet after it. I couldn't find it. I actually went back and I said to the guy in the store, I said, hey, there's a jacket, this jacket. I said, it's not online. He said, no, we don't put a lot of, our high-end things online. And I think that's unfortunate for us all because you got to go in person. And so I hate relating this to you because, this jacket was so incredible. You'll never understand how beautiful it was. But it was a fur on the outside and a leather on the inside, and it was reversible. It was just like jaw-dropping. It was like a piece of art. $28,000. He said, do you want to try it on? I said, no. I said, because I might make a nick in the fur and I might have to pay for it. He laughed. He said, no. He said we sold 2 last week. I'm not sure I believe that, but who knows? There's just a lot of people with a lot of money, so whatever. But anyway, that particular, I really love their clothing. They're simplistic. They really are beautiful. So when I saw this wrap, it just reminded me of some of the wraps we've done. I didn't want to do another wrap tonight. We've done wraps, but I did want to kind of take this look, and this look is like a little bit of a duster. So you can see the price on this. I can't see it from where I'm at, but it's expensive. $3,000. Yeah, it was not a cashmere. So, usually I can say, okay, Brunello Cucinelli, they do a lot of cashmeres, but this was not a cashmere. So if you go to the next photo, I just wanted you to see a little side view of it. You can see how easy it is with jeans, a little black shirt, just so incredibly easy. So I'm going to go to the next picture. And what I did in this next picture is, obviously I saw this other style come up. And you all will recognize this style. There is a store in North Park. This is Fabiana Flippino. I can't remember how to say it. Anyway, there's a store in here. And so what they do, just FYI, is they copy Brunello Cucinelli quite a bit, but they're lower price points. So you can see this. I'm sorry, I should write down these prices. How much is that? Did it say on there? 1.4. 1,400. Okay, so but this is $9.15 is what this is. This is our pattern $9.15 that we did last month or the month before, whenever we did it. So I thought, what, I'm going to combine those two, and that's when I came up with this right here. I'm going to just pull this out a little bit. My wheels on my carpet don't work the best, especially when they've been sitting here for a few days. But I really want you to see kind of what I've done. Okay, so what I did is I took pattern 915. The fabric is 38.45. It is a very lightweight It's so pretty. I mean, it's just really pretty. I'm going to take it apart here in a minute so you can really get into the parts. So it's very, very light. Like not see-through, but almost see-through. But because you double it for this collar, it gives it just a little bit of body. It is a knit. Let's kind of take it apart because you don't need to wear it with a belt. You certainly could wear it just open all by itself, and it looks great either way. I did put a little bit of elastic in the back just to kind of bring it in and give it a little bit of shaping. But I'm going to hold up and you can see how this is so close to that Brunello Cucinelli fabric. I was just thrilled. I really was. I couldn't believe it. It was kind of fun. So you can see there that, you know, you can wear it either way. I added 10 inches to the length. Let's go to that next photo. I added 10 inches to get to knee length is what this is on me. So whatever it gets to take to get to knee length, but just don't forget that you've got to add it to the collar piece also. So you've got to add it to the front, the back, and the collar. And obviously not the sleeve, but you've got to add it to those three pieces. Very easy to do. You just extend it down. You guys, we had the sew along. You have the pattern. You've got everything you need. Again, the fabric on this is the 3845, lightweight and just beautiful. So then when I was thinking about what to pair it with and what to wear underneath, and you know, you could always do the black on black with the jeans, just exactly how that was photographed. But there's another Brunello Cucinelli top that I saw, and I just thought this one was so pretty. So he is popular for what's called a Monelli, and that Monelli chain is on a lot of his clothing, and it really sets him apart. There are other designers who have started to copy it now, but his Monelli is just really, really beautiful and very unique. And in some cases, he'll do like a lot of close strands together, but it's just so pretty. Like I've looked at it over and over again. It's beautiful. And he's using it a little bit more because more designers are copying him. He's using it to kind of, I don't know, show his stuff off a little bit more. I forgot to show you. This is the 915. This is Hugo's cardigan. That was originally Hugo Boss. And so what I did with this little shirt is I did try that on. This was only $1,300 is why, not $28,000 like the jacket. So this was $1,300. I did try it on. I thought it was just so pretty. I mean, I just really liked it. It's done with beadwork and the Monelli, and they kind of alternate in crosses. And so I decided to do it with the green, with the teal. And the reason I didn't do it with the gray is I don't know that I wear a lot of gray, and the gray and black is not really what I wanted. I really wanted a little bit more color. And so I decided to do this. This is pattern number 195. And pattern number 195 is our sweater set. And then I used the fabric was 3856. 3855 is the chain. There's a little gunmetal chain that I bought so that you all could have chain if you wanted to. And then what I did is I started on the sewing process. And you know, I think what I really liked about this shirt, it's probably not near as exciting when you just see it online because it just doesn't jump out at you, but the real shirt, and when I put this on, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's just so pretty, the little glimmer that it has. It's not really hit you in the face, but boy, it's really pretty. I just really like it. All right, so what I did is I alternated the chain. I kind of put them together like that with the iron-on black crystals, because the iron-on black crystals are so easy to work with. Instead of doing chains in both directions, his is not chains, his is bead and then the Monelli. So I decided to do the iron-on crystals and then the chain for the Monelli. How many yards for the great coat? The one I just took off, maybe? I would just get an extra yard, whatever the pattern says for your size, and then for the added length at the bottom, just figure in an extra yard, if you're talking about this one. Or the coat I've got, I don't know which one you're talking about. Okay, but anyway, hopefully that answers the question. So what I did is I started the bust line because you don't want anything going right through the nipple. And so on me, this is just right above. On the mannequin, it's a little bit different, but on me, it's right above. So I started there and then worked up and started there and worked down and started there from the middle and worked out. And I did the iron-on crystals first. And then you can see here what I did with the iron-on crystals. I used the black. You just cut a line, lay it on, just make sure it's straight. And I did 4 inches between crystal things. 4 inches between, 4 inches between. So they're kind of 2-inch squares by the time you get all of them going different directions. And then I came back with the chain, and I asked the guy at the store if that was sewn on by hand, and he said he couldn't tell. I couldn't tell either, actually. But I didn't sew it on by hand. What I did is I set my zigzag at 3 width, and that was just wide enough to barely cover the chain. And I did my stitch length at 6. So I didn't get, if you get too much, what happened to me at first is it kind of almost cemented the chain on, and it just didn't look good, and it was eating up the chain. So when I lengthened that stitch length, it made all the difference in the world, and it looked like I got it on. My first original intention was I thought, oh, I'll put it on the front and the back, because the real store, the $1,300 t-shirt, wasn't on the back. And I thought I want it on the back. But now I know why they didn't do it on the back, because the t-shirt doesn't stretch as much when you've got the chain going across. So you can't have it on the front and the back. Duh, little things you do, you learn when you're doing them. And then I really liked the longer sleeve. I didn't want a cap sleeve, but I did figure that I could curl this up and, you know, wear it any length I wanted to. If I wanted a shorter thing like that, I could wear it like that. So the teal fabric, I don't know if I told you that number, sorry you guys, is $38.56. And $38.55 is the chain, okay? And then your crystals. No, I just love it. I hope y'all like it. I just really like it. Expensive stuff out there. Somebody said you can't save money sewing. I would have to disagree. You can save a whole bunch of money. Plus, you can get whatever you want, because you can get the fabric you want and change the colors. And like the skirt, I didn't like that skirt, but I love mine. I really like mine. Okay. What kind of thread to sew the chain? I just used my same thread that I normally use. Not anything different. The only thing different is that you have to put it on a zigzag. And I just sewed it with my regular Teflon foot. I didn't even change my foot. It's pretty easy. It's a small chain. It's a very small chain. You know, I shopped a long time for that little chain, and it was small enough that I knew, pretty sure that it would go under a sewing machine, and it did without any problem. Okay, questions? Any questions? Is this good? We got a couple more. We got some good ones. Oh, how much chain did you use? Good point. Ooh. Oh, I didn't think you'd ask me that. I mean, I didn't even think about that. It's sold by the foot. So it's not sold by the yard, it's sold by the foot. So let me approximate for you. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would say 12 or 13. Yeah, I would say 12 or 13 will make it. Obviously, it depends on the size, but I'd say 12 or 13. Okay. Good question, though. Yes, use poppy snaps on those sleeves. I thought about it, and if I had thought about it a little bit more, I'd have got them. I wore them yesterday, and so they're on the shirt still that I wore yesterday. They're down in my bathroom. I could run downstairs and get them, but yes, the poppy clips would be really cute on the sleeves. Very cute. Good idea. Okay. All right, let's go on. We got more. I'm telling you, guys, the more time I have, the more time I sew, and I don't know if that's good or not. I just keep sewing, and I, said to myself, I have to quit. I can't even show all these. All right, so let's go to the next picture. Oh, that's just the t-shirt, and it's worn. Just shows you the whole picture, the length of it and all that kind of stuff. I thought if you wanted to see it. So this photo I've had for a little bit of time here. And I just keep coming back to it because I just really like it. And I'm not sure what I like about it, but I just really liked it. So I got this fabric in from Italy, and I decided that's it. This is the fabric I'm going to use, and I'm going to make this little sweater. This sweater has, it has two-way stretch. And I decided to put the front on the bias. So I followed the bias by the dart. I don't even know if you can see the dart. It's a French dart. This is pattern 195, sorry. It's pattern 195. I cut the neckline away because I wanted it to just be almost not loose fit. It's definitely not loose fit, but I just wanted it to be a little bit away from my neckline a little bit. And so the sleeves were cut straight. Nothing hard. I did use the selvage of the fabric. This got amazing selvage, you guys. Oh, sorry, the fabric number, sorry. 3854. I mean, the bottom of this, don't ruin it. Don't hem it. Don't cut it off. Finish it just like it is. Just gorgeous. And I did the same in the back, but here you go. There's my zipper. There it is. There's my zip. I put, you know, the back. I didn't finish the back. So I cut the front 1 inch longer so that I could finish the front. So I hemmed the front because you could you could probably have cut the edge, the selvage off and sewn it back on to make it look like it was the same all the way around. But even, I don't know if it would, you know, whatever you want to do. I decided not to because I felt like it wouldn't look right with the bias and the selvage, but I really didn't try it. So easy enough to do. Because I had cut this wider, this fabric has got great stretch to it. I mean, it's got great stretch. It's a really beautiful fabric to work with. But it's too thick to really do a fold over elastic. So I just did a 4-thread serger thread and I went over it like 4 times. So it just kept laying in the density of that fabric, of the thread over and over. And so you see it's got like a little black trim where all it is thread. But it's dense enough that it looks like a little black thread. So just because of the stripe and because of the color, I wanted like a contrasting neck edge. I didn't want to just fold it under. I don't know why. I just really wanted a stop point on it. But I love it. I love it. And I'm telling you, tonight I thought to myself, okay, so every outfit I'm going to go change, put it back on and come out. But I thought that's ridiculous. It's not really about how it looks on me, although I love these. They're so much fun. I got a whole new wardrobe. It's really fun. But I really do like them. And I love this bias front. It feels like a sweater. It looks like a sweater. And it's lovely. So that's $195. Very easy to do. Again, just 3 pieces. Front on the bias, that takes up a yard. And then the back and the sleeves take up another yard. And then you just sew the zipper right on top. It's just completely a faux zipper. And what I did is I made the top the length of the zipper. So whatever your zipper is, I put the zipper all the way to the bottom. You don't want the zipper to come up from the bottom. It would kind of look funny. And I actually lowered the back neckline so that the zipper was up to the top. And it's just cute. All right. Okay. Did you sew the French dart before putting on the chain? Yes, you have to on the t-shirt. Yes, definitely. Definitely have to. So basically, I did, in fact, I actually sewed the neckline. I sewed the shoulder seam and finished the neck edge before I put on the chain also. Because there's some that come right into the neck edge and you can't stitch through, it's hard to stitch through the chain, just be careful. And so I brought the chain right up and then just back stitch. So the chain just stops on the very edge. In the sleeve, I took it into the seam because I just used the sewing machine and walked the needle over the chain. But yeah, be careful of that. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to do, oh, this is really fun. Let's look at the next photo. So I saw this photo. I loved it. It was a little dramatic, but I still really liked it. I just realized that I didn't want something that dramatic, but that just screamed 312 at me. Giorgio's top, sorry, 312. Y'all don't know what I'm saying when I say that just screamed 312. I just immediately saw 312. It had lowered neckline, a flared bottom. It had all the cutouts imaginable that you could want in there. Except I didn't want all the cutouts, but I loved it. I loved the idea, and so this is where I came with it. And I'm going to tell you, I put this on, and I just absolutely love it too. I know I've said that a few times tonight. I'll quit saying that. So It's fabric number 3853. It's a new fabric I just put up. It's etched, sketched. I don't know what you call it, lasered, whatever it is. It's like a floral pattern. It's just simply so pretty. And then, of course, Giorgio's top is a kimono. It fits beautifully. I didn't alter the size. I made it just like it is. But I did, if you go to the next page, or the next photo, sorry, I added length to it. And so there's the length. And when you add that length, you want to flare out with that length. Let it continue to flare because that's what gives you all this down here. So it's very flattering, especially like worn over just a pair of either black leggings or denim leggings. Anything like that would be just adorable. Plaid leggings, you know, would be really cute. And then put your favorite belt on at the waist, and it is really flattering. It's very flattering. And just cute. Just cute as can be. Can you put the sweater on with the zipper up or down? Yeah, but you want to put it on how it's supposed to be. I would, you know, there's no reason to put it on upside down just for the heck of it. I would put it on the right way. Do you sell the round silver zipper pulls? Yeah, these are ours. Yes, sorry. Yes. Okay, so that's 312. All right, and so that one's easy enough. Oh, I made the neckline V. I didn't make it as plunging as her V, but I decided I wanted the whole V-neck. Now, so recognize you could come back and cut out holes out of this because this is a knit. And you could cut out those holes just like you wanted to with hers. But I wasn't going to wear it like she is. And I really just liked the idea of that whole concept. But I didn't necessarily need the holes. But I am always showing you guys so that if you want the holes, you know how to get the holes. Okay, and you can just cut them away. Okay, then the next one, we've got one more I want to show you. So I fell in love with this. This is Alice and Olivier. And I don't know what I liked about it except that it just looked like comfort. Except that I recognized I wouldn't look like her if I put this top on. And so I didn't even try. But if you go to the next picture, what you see is, there's the price. How much is that? Sorry. I need to start writing these down. $350. Cheap, right? Go to the next picture. So you can see that it's reversible. You can see there that picture is one I got off the internet. And so the top is reversible. Well, I'm not into reversible tops. To me, that says they don't fit well. But this doesn't fit well. It's all just about the look and the comfort and all that kind of stuff. And so that's the inspiration. The only reason I show you this is because that's the inspiration. Okay, and that got me to this. And so I started with pattern 115 because I don't know that I really like turtlenecks. That's just me. Because either I put them on and I'm warm and then 5 minutes later I'm like 400 degrees. And I'm only 400 degrees in my neck. The rest of me is cold. So I really like Anne's top because it's just like a lowered cowl. So that's what I decided to use. So it's pattern number 115, Anne's top. How much length did you add on Giorgio's? I added 4 inches to each piece. 4 inches to each piece. Okay. And so what you're going to do is just cross the pieces, and you can decide. I'm going to show you a picture on how to do this. If you go to the next one, there it is. So you can see you're going to double the front. You're going to draw a line, and that line goes from the bottom of the armhole. It starts right here. It's drawn on that picture. Over to the other side. I added length, and I added like 3 inches, 4 inches, but you want to make sure that the back is longer than the front. And I'll tell you why in a second. So these are just the pattern changes first. Do the diagonal, add whatever length you want, but just add 1 inch longer in the back than you do in the front. And use the piece, use that left piece there and throw away the other piece. And so when you use it twice, you've got the asymmetric front like this. Okay, so that's the pattern work. Everything else is left the same. Then when you sew it, you're going to finish this edge. And I just serged it, turned it under. Oh, I know what I was going to say. See the little red X on there? That is your center front. So wherever it crosses center front is as modest or as immodest immodest as you want it to be. So if you want your belly button to show, you can figure out where your belly button is and you can cross it above your belly button. So you can get whatever look you want. Because I am 62, I did not want my belly button. I don't think that's the reason I didn't want my belly button to show. I didn't want my belly button to show because I don't look good with my belly button showing. I don't think if the age has anything to do with it. So I lowered it to where it covered my belly button, plus a few other things that it covered. All right, so you can see there it is. So you're going to hem this first, both sides. You serge it and hem it. And then you just sew the rest, the French dart, you sew the whole top together. And then when you do the side seam, because the front is already finished, the back is 1 inch longer, and then so you're serging it, and then you turn the back up 1 inch to hem it to finish. So very easy to do. I put it on with a little light colored pants, but it would look really fun with all kinds of different pants. But I just wanted you, and there's so many fun things you could do with this. I just really wanted to give you the idea and see where I got it from. And then you guys can remember, my job is the ideas. Your job is to take them to another level. That's the sequence that we follow, right, girls? Okay, so I'll put that up there. And this top is really nice. I didn't tell you this fabric. This fabric is incredible. It's 3826. It's an Italian viscose rayon, and it's beautiful. It's soft. It just feels incredible. It's very nice. I don't remember the name, but it's 3826. Okay. Any questions? Does that mean there's too much, or that you're just listening? Does that mean I didn't forget anything, or that you'll know that you will when you go back? So there's a couple things I wanted to mention, but I didn't write them down, and I can't remember. We'll remember them here in a minute. Just about the holidays in general and some stuff we're doing. Oh, I know we're going to have a sew-along this Saturday, 2 o'clock. We're going to have a sew-along. We're going to sew along 320 Bailey's wrap and cowl top. That's a great one for the holidays. I didn't make it up, but it's just an incredible little combination just for anywhere you're going, or for just being at home, because it's an adorable little cowl tank, and then that little wrap on top of it is really cute. So that's going to be our Saturday sew along. 2 o'clock, as norm. What else? Fabric for tan pants. You guys catch me on everything. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I do. It's downstairs. We've got it. I don't know. You'll see it in there. It's a tan stretch woven. We've only got one. I don't know. It's probably on the 3rd or 4th page. We don't have much of it left, but it's really beautiful. It's a really nice weight, and it was very nice. Did you use shoulder pads? No. No, there's no shoulder pads in anything. No, no shoulder pads. No, because it's a blouse pattern. So you don't really want shoulder pads in a blouse pattern. The fabric, this fabric, the fur fabric, is 36. I can't read. I'm getting either that or it's later. Maybe with my glasses is 36.54. I think it is 36.54 is the fur. This fabric. Okay, that fabric is 38.26. 38.26 is the crossover. It's all good. Sew along. What else can we do for you all? I'm just going to be quiet and see what all you say. I can't see the chat, so Benjamin will interpret for me. Are they just quiet? You're just thinking.
I'm thanking you.
Oh, thanking you. Oh, thanking me? You're fun. Hey, this is fun stuff, I've been to New York. I've been all over this stuff, scouring the stores for this. It's really a lot of fun. I was thinking that it's I did want to tell you about one dress. So here in Dallas, we have a very high-end shopping center. It's called, I don't have the fabric, so you guys are going to have to help me with the fabric. It's called Valentino. I know you know Valentino. But I went into that store because in the window was a sequined dress. So you have to imagine pattern number 4009. It's like just a simple A-line dress, all black sequins, long sleeves, jewel neck, all black sequins. And we have several black sequined fabrics that would just be stunning in this dress. This dress was $12,800. So I went into the store. I asked to see the dress in the window. He had another one, so I looked at it. It was so simple. I just was boggled that it could be that much money. And I said, how much is it? And he said, it's 12. He looked and said, it's 12.8. And I knew that wasn't $12.80. It was 12,800. And then he proceeded to say, but it's made very well, you know, and showed me all the little, how beautiful it's made. And then I looked at a couple other pieces. There was a fur jacket. It was so similar to this, I couldn't believe it. And that was 18,000. So it's so much fun to look, you guys, that sometimes I feel bad that you can't go with me. And sometimes I've thought to myself, how could I take you all with me? But they don't let you film in stores. I came home to Valentino. I tried to look those two things up. Nowhere on the site. And the same with that Brunello Cucinelli, the $28,000 jacket. They just don't put everything in their stores on the site. Chanel is bad. I mean, I guess they're trying to protect their stuff, and I can understand that against probably people like me, or people that work for other designers, not me. They're not worried about me. But it's so beautiful to go into the store. So I'm grateful that I get to share this with you all because you appreciate it, whereas my sons don't appreciate it. When I say, hey, look at this top I made. Isn't this cool? And they're like, yeah, Mom, that's great. Okay. But anyway, we can appreciate it from each other a little bit more. Fabric 3826 are what colors? It's kind of like a muted purplish grape. I would call it a purple and grape. It's kind of, they're all muted. All the colors are muted, but it's really beautiful. I missed the first few minutes. Did you explain how high to sew the sleeve slit in your fur jacket? It's up to you, but I came down about 4 inches. You don't want to go down too far because you don't want to go, you know, you want to, the original that we showed, if you go back and when you look through this all, the original, it was all the way up to maybe 1 inch. It was just a little bit that was sewn. So kind of her whole arm showed. I've noticed when I've worn things that are, the sleeve is open or there's a slit, when it's in my upper arm, I'm cold. When I've got the upper arm portion of me covered, I just feel warmer. I like it better. So I knew right away I wanted to sew this down a little bit, and I came down 4 inches and then I left it open. So it was enough that I could bend my arms. And one reason you want to do that is because the mobility is like tenfold over having a fur jacket sleeve. So that's why I just really was attracted to this jacket, was because it had beautiful look. It looked so beautiful, but it has so much great mobility, and it just all stays in place. It doesn't even move. So from a design perspective, it's like a home run. I just loved it. And I love it. It's so simple to sew, easy to make, and I just really like it. What's the pattern number for the sew along? 320 is the pattern number for the Saturday. Will there be a webcast on November 24th? What's the date today? 10th. The 24th in 2 weeks? Yes. Oh, is that the week of Thanksgiving? Is that what you're asking? Oh, yes. There will be a webcast. That's our last official webcast of the year. So let me explain. That's probably what I was going to tell you, what we're going to do. We have dress forms. We've got them only for a period of 4 or 5 weeks. So in noticing that I found this great place, they gave me great pricing on it. I passed that pricing right on to you all. The dress forms now include the casters on the bottom. In fact, it's just like this one, and an arm. It's very much like this one. Okay, and they include an arm. And it's nice to have an arm because you can get the bend. Okay, so, but what I noticed is the dress form webcast that I did several years ago was gone. It's one of the ones we lost when we lost that grouping of webcast. So this pattern of the month this month is the yoga pant. I did it because I know a lot of us are at home. I know a lot of us are hanging out and we don't necessarily have to go to offices or things like that. The yoga pant is a great pattern to really just remind you that you can look great and still be comfortable at the same time. So that's why I made it the POM. I don't think we need a webcast on it. I don't think we need a sew along for it. We've had all of that. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a webcast on the dress form. So we're going to go ahead and use pattern 4218 for that, which is the knit sheath. I'm going to make it up. I'm going to fit it on myself. I'm going to put it on the dress form. I'm going to show you how to pad all that. And we're going to do that. That's what the webcast is going to be 2 weeks from today. Okay. And then, like I said, that's officially, we don't do the webcast in December. But then I think we've got it picked out, but I'm not sure of the date. We want to do our Toys for Tots sew along so that we can get funds in and we'll do a sew along. The only difference will be on this sew along, we'll ask that you donate. And, you know, whatever, small amounts. You can donate it all through Fit to Stitch, and Fit to Stitch can do it so that you can make it tax deductible. And then we can get the kids some Christmas toys. This is a hard Christmas, I'm sure, for a lot of people. So hopefully we can do a good cause and make a little bit of dent in that Toys for Tots. So that's kind of the schedule through the beginning of December. Okay. This Saturday, we're going to have a sew along. We're going to see how it goes, but we'd like to do a sew along the following Saturday. I'd like to do 2 back to back. And that's simply because we have time. We know you love it. We all have to be home. And you know what? I was talking to someone the other day and I said, you know what? I'm the happiest when I'm sewing. I don't have to worry about what's going on. My sewing machine has no COVID. It has no viruses, fortunately. And I'm just the happiest when I'm sewing. So I think it's a really good thing that we can bring a little joy to everybody by just hanging out in the sewing room on Saturday afternoon. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. Who is selling it at that? Oh. Who's selling what price? Okay. I like the Cucinelli wrap. Was it basically 2 rectangles in the front? Wondering how to replicate it best. Go back over our wraps, you guys. We've done so many. You'll see one that you like that you can just use that fabric with it. Yes. Do you have any updates on the Sew City type tables? Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. And we'll ship to New Zealand? Yes. We'll just, I mean, you have to pay the shipping, but of course, we'll ship everywhere. Just like the dress forms. We'll ship the dress forms anyway. We'll just charge you the difference between what we charge and then what it cost. And we're only going to charge you what it cost us, nothing more. Yes, on the Sew Study tables, you guys, we can't keep calling them the Sew Study tables. We're calling them the Silhouette Sew tables. The Silhouette Sew tables. So yes, okay, so we're 2 little parts away. We're very, very close. Do not get a table yet. Just hang in because we're going to make them and they're going to be very affordable. You know, I was pushing it today to try to get the rest of the information. I just couldn't. I've got a phone call tomorrow and I've got an appointment on Thursday to wrap them up. But, you know, we're just there. What had delayed this process is somebody that's in the process of doing all this with us and for us came down with COVID. And so that's it. They're out for 2 weeks. And so that is a drag. Not just because he has COVID, but it messed up my schedule. Okay. So we have to think about what's important. But anyway, so we got bogged down and we just couldn't push it through. But we'll pick it back up and hopefully, I mean, for sure by 2 weeks, we should have all of our answers and then we'll get them for sale. We should be able to turn them pretty fast. So we're real excited about them. We know you guys have been very patient. We know you want them. We're getting the boxes made because you got to have special shipping boxes. So yada, yada, yada. All right, hang in. We'll get you some great tables. Okay. Can you show the grape colored fabric? I'm assuming this is the grape colored fabric up close. Sure. All right, that's your job, cameraman. Can you do that for us? Zoom, 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 zoom. There it is. So you can see it's got a little bit of floral pattern to it, but it's kind of muted all throughout. It's a wine, it's a burgundy, it's kind of a little of everything. Okay? Does that help? All right. 2 weeks from Thursday is Thanksgiving. That is just like impossible for me to believe. But everybody just says how fast the time goes, so I won't talk about that, but the time really goes fast. Will the tables be for sergers also? Yeah, we'll do both. We'll do the 18 by, we'll just do two sizes. The 18 by 24 for the sewing machine and the 18 by 18 for the sergers. Yep, we've got them. Some of you know because I've asked you to test them for me. You know we've tested them. We've practiced cutting them. We've got friends of mine who own machine dealerships here in town who have helped us with the sizes so they fit. Because, you know, we went back and forth with how are we going to have you all measure these machines, and, you know, what a nightmare. So we've got a Brunello company on board, we've got Viking on board, and we've got Baby Lock on board. So, you know, I mean the individual companies, not national companies by any means. But I don't care about them. I just wanted the locals so we could practice making the tables and make sure they fit, which we've done. And so we're almost there. We're so excited. All right. And we're going to just make them for a really good price, you guys. They're so expensive, and we're going to bring those prices way down so that you can afford, you know, to do them. We'll tell you all our cost, and then we'll tell you what we're selling them for. So you'll know that we're not going to make anything. I just want you to be able to have the tables. That's really the bottom line for me. All right, are we good? So the goal is happy sewing. And you guys want to make something up fun, show it off to your friends. We've given you plenty of wraps, so for holiday gifts and all kinds of things that you want to make for other people, a couple yards of fabric and a little bit of time makes a beautiful gift to tell somebody that you really appreciate them. Okay? I make wraps. They're just called blankets for my sons at the holiday time so they can snuggle under their blankets. All right, so we'll see you on Saturday. This Saturday we'll have a sew along. 3:20 will be the pattern. Happy sewing. Bye.